Grandpa Joe Show e Oshingo Sol Hanyong Hanida.
In other words, welcome to the Grandpa Joe Show.
Coming up on the Grandpa Joe Show, we'll be discussing SDR, software defined radio, with our new a newly added thing. Our new SDR dongle. Also coming up on the Grandpa Joe Show.
Well, also we'll just be discussing. Well, the reason why we started off with the. Well, should we even start talking about that yet?
We'll just do a little thing. Just do a little teaser.
Oh, why we opened with that Korean language. We'll be discussing that, and also we'll be discussing a little bit about St. Rose, progress being made over there,
and all that plus more will be coming up here on the Grandpa Joe Show as the Grandpa Joe Show starts right now. So we will be starting with our SDR Adventures Part 1, and we will basically be doing a review on SDR things and what is SDR. We'll be also demonstrating SDR, and we'll start that right now. So what is SDR? SDR is software defined radio. It's actually been in use since it's been used for quite a while now. For a good 10 years, I'd say. Basically, software-defined radio is what you think it is. It's basically a radio that's controlling a dongle like we have here. Grandpa, if you would be willing to show this up. This is a new dongle, which is a quite popular and cheap dongle that actually works really darn well. I've actually been using it for a couple days now. I'd say it's been really phenomenal with things here.
Yeah, and pretty awesome, some of the stuff you pick up on it.
Yeah. So, and then if we turn it around this way, we have a antenna which actually comes with the kit. It's a telescopic antenna that I'd say is around, it's a good 3 inches long. And it's actually a really good antenna too, because I've been actually able to pick up a station that's normally not that we would be able to pick up.
Yeah, that was really cool. All of a sudden, it came up on our screen that we had some station. It was called Military Air.
Yeah.
I wonder what that was all about. That was pretty cool.
But what I was also referring to is a station that's normally that we would not pick up on the FM spectrum, like on the radio spectrum, like what you would hear on 99.1 or something like that. We found a radio station 91.3. I don't remember the call sign off the top of my head, but it's located in Kiel, Wisconsin, and its coverage area, as I found out, does not even include us by a good 15-20 miles. And I managed to pick up that during the nighttime. Quite good.
And we were kind of looking up on the computer what other types of things you can pick up. You can actually pick up pilots talking on their airplanes.
We haven't had that. We haven't
had it yet.
We haven't had that yet.
We're going to work on it because we've been playing a little bit of games with it. This thing's pretty awesome, and it's not very much money. It was $20 for this little dongle, and it came with the antenna. And it actually has some sort of little remote control device. I got to read about it. What you even use the remote control for? Is that for if you have the TV set?
That's the TV part of it. Now, unfortunately, the dongle that we purchased only supports DVB-T, or Digital Video Broadcasting Terrestrial, which is typically used throughout, I guess, the former British Empire. So, apart from Canada. Is used throughout Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. New Zealand, I'm not so sure about, but I know throughout Europe and Australia. I'm thinking Russia too. I'm just trying to think everything off the top of my head, but obviously here in the United States, we do not use DVB-T. Instead, we use ATSC, which is actually the name of a committee, but it is a television standard that we use here in the United States, as well as Canada, South Korea, and a couple other countries. So, we'll get started with our demonstration of DVB-T, or SDR, I mean.
Let's plug her in here. Plug it in, just plugs into the USB port.
Yep, so
and we have a little bit of a problem plugging it in with all our other stuff here.
Because it's a little bit larger than a typical USB stick, so it's kind of computing space with our microphone right now.
Maybe we should have plugged, oh, that's right, we thought that maybe it was... No.
I don't know, whatever. So, this is our DVB-T, or SDR, I mean. We use a very popular program, which if you've used SDR before, you'll probably recognize this program, is SDR Sharp, is what it's called. So basically what we can do is that we can go throughout any of the spectrum. So let's turn on 89.7, which is WWM, which is the UW Milwaukee, which they call themselves Milwaukee NPR. So if we turn this on right now, there it goes. So I'm not sure what we can hear right now, but
well, let's see if we can hear it.
Oh, it's because the volume's down. All right. All right, so it's not kind of. So right now, obviously, it's not picking up all that well, but it's because we're in a house that has been, long story short, has been converted from a cabin to a house and has metal sheeting in the sides, which obviously, if you've been educated in radio waves and whatnot, any types of metals can actually attenuate the signals it can attenuate the signals or weaken the signals.
Yeah, it's kind of like we're living in a big tin can. We've actually got real thick metal siding on this house. Not even aluminum, it's metal.
Yeah, like real
steel.
Metal. Yes, steel.
Steel siding.
Now, obviously, if you use antennas that you use like a tin can to and with the wire and whatnot, it'll enhance the signals.
Now, what is our signal grade with this right now? Remember you
16, 15, something. Now the numbers that's bouncing on the right there is what we're looking at, and obviously, if you look towards the top of the chart there, right below the numbers, you can see the three curvy marks. I forgot what they were called. Parentheses.
I wonder what happens if I open this window.
Yeah, it's not like this can even influence it. I'll turn it towards. I do not fault it. Alright.
South Dakota Senator, thank you so much for speaking with us.
So we'll probably move this over to.
Spend some time this morning
Try not
tweeting.
to.
He suggested there would be a big price to
like
pay
the
for those responsible.
Yeah,
We're joined now by NPR White House correspondent
Yes, it is.
Tamara Keith. Tamara, thank you. Very funny. To be with you. Do we have any?
Okay, I got ya.
Not really, but it is
There it is.
truly notable to see the president calling out
See?
not just
Came right
Assad's
in.
regime, but also
Once I
Russian
brought it closer
President
to that
Vladimir
open window.
Putin directly on Twitter. You know,
How much is the
President
signal
Trump has
on
regularly
I saw it
said
was
that
reaching like
he hopes
27.
to find a way to work with
Now,
Putin on
the
Syria.
number that we're
but
seeing is on the right by the one of the sliders.
been aligned with US
So,
Americans.
our hands as well, our bodies can actually influence the signal, sometimes positively or negatively. A lot of times, if I put my hand right next to it, and right on it, and like this, it'll actually sometimes enhance the signal quite well. It's just a weird thing with radio waves. And
Just announced.
okay, so the number that's constantly fluctuating over to the right under the Grand Prix Road Show logo, is the signal to noise ratio, or SNR, which basically is really more of a difference rather than a ratio. So it's really SND, or signal to noise difference.
That is
And if anyone watching is experienced, correct us on anything that we might say, because I am actually just kind of like getting into this sort of hobby. We'll talk about more coming. Talk about more of what I'm gonna do for this sort of stuff going down the line in future episodes or whatnot.
Well, now I see that there's some words right underneath here on the screen. What's that say right there? I can't see
FM
it.
broadcast.
Oh, it just says FM broadcast. Okay.
So basically, that's basically the band plan, as it's called. And obviously, wrong slider there.
Can you move that? What was that military error?
Oh yeah.
Where was that frequency at about?
It was like around the 400 megahertz. Up there it is.
There it is, military error.
Yeah. So
Came back.
I don't know what's exactly on this frequency. So we just thought it was cool that it came up like that. And since this thing, okay, let me try to.
So I wonder what we should try to figure out what the pilot. Maybe that is
the pilot.
You know, for the regular airlines and stuff.
So, basically, the range that this thing has is between 24 megahertz and 1.3 gigahertz, which is a wide spectrum. And you can even go down to the AM bands, all the way down to 100 kilohertz with an up converter. And so, basically, what it is by default, it can cover, I think it can cover 3 of the 16 ham bands, the ham radio bands. So we can still pick up something, but it's good to have a lot. So I'm not sure if we're gonna have an up converter for this thing or not, but we'll do something with this, and I'll get back with results on this at a later episode.
I'd like to have more power with it. We need to get more power. Yeah, so we can receive these things better.
Oh yeah, we can
receive the signal better.
So the unfortunate thing is that this thing right here, it's a very tiny thing, like a very tiny antenna cord. This is not a standard one, but it's a rather tiny one. It's basically kind of like a mini USB.
I was looking at that on the computer when I googled it. You told me that site to go to, and it was talking about that you can actually convert the digital signal to, and you can, or maybe is that what this one's doing right now, converting digital signals, or is it just strictly analog?
This is analog that's doing right now.
But I guess the signals that are being broadcast digitally, it's still coming over a wavelength, and then you can get decoders to decode it, so you could actually
VLC can actually do that if it wants to, but the unfortunate thing is that I have not figured out my way around this sort of stuff yet, and I'm not sure, because every time I try to do it, it'll come up with an error saying that the spec model, like the thing that it's using, the tuner card. Here I'm just gonna do this thing here. So let me go to this. So actually, never mind. So it'll say that the tuner card that you've selected does not support it, but the tuner card, how to select it goes by numbers, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It goes by numbers.
Okay, why is that weird?
I've never seen something like that happen. Because, I mean, I've never worked with VLC on this sort of stuff before where I would receive TV, but I've seen multiple videos on stuff like this. Obviously, we won't pop up these videos just because the standard, well, I'm not sure what the standard YouTube license does, but I'm rather staying on the safe side and not showing these videos out of copyright issues.
Okay.
But, well, actually, let me take a look on this. Obviously, we won't. I'm not sure if we're going to receive any signals at all because of DVB-T. So let's do this.
DVVT. Let's. Grandpa Joel is pretty bad with acronyms. Acronyms.
Can you pronounce the word?
I can't pronounce it. See, I told you how bad I am.
All right, so let's try 4 to 78 kilohertz, and let's do this. Nope, does not want it. Does not support the specified parameters. Please check the preferences. Well, that's the issue with it. And by the way, the reason why we're using VLC right now for a webcam, as you can see right here, right here, is because we've been running it. We ran into an issue today while trying to shoot the show. Well, not really trying, but like we were about to shoot the show. All of a sudden, OBS throws a fit in saying that it thinks that the webcam is not a supported. Like, the webcam is not available, but it is. And when we were trying to go into properties and trying to fix that whole issue, I've seen the webcam actually flicker on and off, like the light that says that it's on, that indicates that it's on, flicker on for a split second, turns off the next second, and it happens like this, bah, like that. It just goes like this.
Okay.
It turns on for a split second, like for probably as long as a snap. It turns off again, but it's not long. It stays on long enough for me to notice that it has turned on. And plus Windows 10's notification says that it has turned on, and then immediately after that notification goes away, it says camera off.
Well, in other words,
if you use Windows 10, you'll notice that on the top left of your corner of your screen. But in other words, the SDR thing can do is it can do not only the FM band, but it can do those 3 ham bands. I can't think of what they are, what sections they are off the top of the head. But they can also do military air. Not sure what that's all about. But it can also
it's probably a frequency or a line that's dedicated for military devices, military aircraft and all that.
I don't know. But it can also
It
can also do marine VHF, which, as you can see on the left of your screen there, as well as NOAA weather radio, because which is the one I'm on right now. If I
go to the weather radio one.
If I turn this on,
highs in the 20s and 30s and lows in the
which obviously, if you're a weather enthusiast, you'll obviously know this is weather radio right there.
And on there it says it's marine, so
marine,
that's showing
to the left.
Oh, is that the one we're listening to, or are we listening over here?
We're listening out of the band right there. That little red thing right there.
So what's the marine one?
The marine is like, I think it's for. If I remember off the top of my head, it's
Is it like the Great Lakes forecast, or?
I think it's for communications between marine craft, as well as other related things like. It does Morse code too.
Can you go over there and see if we can listen to that?
If any is available right now.
Yeah.
So let me go down. Sometimes you'll see these carrier stuff. This carrier thing right here. So let's turn this on.
Give me a moment. Sound like the seashore.
Okay, so this would be a station because it's a blank carrier right there. That's the carrier signal right there. The little red spike there. That's the.
That's the marine one?
Well, that's a marine station.
Okay.
So this is a marine station that's currently only carrying a silent carrier. Like only just a carrier signal.
Okay, so we'd have to be able to decode that signal.
Basically, yeah. And then there's audio decoding programs out there to help this out. And there's a program out there called Virtual Audio Cable, which actually, it's literally what it says. It's a virtual audio cable that you can literally select with programs as if it was a real audio cable. It's crazy how it works.
So it's kind of cool. You can see this stuff on the computer, and it's actually transmitting something, but you can't hear it.
Well, not right now, anyway. But you can see it's within view. It's within.
Yeah, we would,
listening range
if
right
we
now.
had something to decode the signal, we'd be able to hear what it's doing. And
Yeah.
it might be sitting there just beeping at us for all we know.
It's like beep 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 and Morse
Morse
code and
code
stuff
type
like
of deal, or
Let's hold on the spectrum to see what else we can get. Let me mute that for a quick sec. There's another station over there. Doesn't seem to be transmitting anything. Sometimes, what it will do is that sometimes it'll make a solid. It only will produce a solid tone. Try to get closer to it. So,
okay, you're on top of it now. You should be hearing it, right?
Also,
Yeah, when you brought it on there, it kind of like
I think this might be a federal race. It might be a federal race.
So you kind of get the picture of what this is.
This might be what it is. Airband VOR ILS. It could be it. And then airband voice.
What's airband voice?
I think that's where aircraft communicate with each other.
Oh,
But,
okay.
When
Sunday evening, that'd be kind of neat, because pretty shortly here, a lot of times we have aircraft coming overhead.
I think the Burlington Airport down there is. I think that's the closest airport to us.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
does Burlington even have
the
an
big
airport?
the jet airliners come overhead that are going into Milwaukee all the time.
Well,
But-
we'll have to tune into.
But it'd be
their
more
frequencies.
interesting to take this thing over by the airport one day.
Yeah, we could attempt that, and
Yeah, we'll see if we can listen to the aircraft.
yeah, listen to the
Listen to
aircraft
their
on the radio.
broadcasts.
And
That's
plus,
kind of cool.
plus what
Kind
they
of a little bit, kind of a little scary that people can listen to that stuff too.
it's weird, but it's still there.
Yeah.
It kind of feels weird thinking about it for the first time.
Yeah. But all this stuff, all around us, there's so many different radio waves, and our human ears can't hear this stuff unless we have capture devices,
Which can interpret
and this right here is a capture device. It's capturing it, and now whether or not we can interpret it yet, that's another story. You'd have to sit there if you wanted to capture something and interpret it.
Yeah, so this thing can
Depends what you want to interpret.
this thing can listen to aircraft if it wanted to. So let's see if I can go down to a ham band.
I just saw airband.
Yep, airband VOR
Yeah.
ILS. Then goes to FM broadcast, which you can see this. I think that's 99.1 right there. And if I go beyond that, I know there's yeah, the 6 meter ham band there,
Okay.
which plus you can also listen to like firefighter calls as well.
Okay, and you could probably listen to police radio.
You can do that too, but I'm not. There's certain things there where sometimes there's an increased presence now of encrypted signals
Right.
because they want to keep it more secure. Which
From
I
people
totally
like us
get.
that want to look at it.
This sounds so weird.
Yeah, we're not trying to look at it for any nefarious reasons. We're just looking at
No.
it because it's cool.
There's the 10 meter ham band. Which let me see if I can turn it.
And at least this thing does have a really neat looking screen.
It does. It has a really nice looking thing.
Yeah, I really like this.
That's true. All right, so now this thing.
Whoever developed this thing really made it
Let's
nice.
see what, I wonder if
But
there's
I saw
about.
something over here, like, what was that real big flash just off?
Yeah, that's the carrier signal. So now we can. I know there's a Milwaukee-based repeater thing going on. Let me try to open Chrome up because I know it's there. Oh yeah, I think I have a VLC file for it. So open file because it has, along with the file name, it actually also has a frequency tag next to it on its title. Let's see here. Yeah, 146.
I think we might have just, our screen might have froze up.
No, 146.910 megahertz. So that's the Milwaukee repeater. That's what we're at.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, so we're back. And then we'll do 146.910 on the 2-meter handband. So now we wait, because this is where the Milwaukee repeater is. I'm not sure if you can hear me right now, but you can see right now it's not active, but you can see this thing's on the 2-meter ham band, the ham radio band. One of the
Now, I wonder how many ham radio enthusiasts there are, and
a lot. That's what I can tell
that's why
you.
I'm kind of surprised that we're not hearing something right now.
Currently, some people, you know, sometimes
they do it at night a
don't.
lot more.
And there's even organized activities. I mean, yeah, they do it a lot at night. Like, they do it more at night than at day. So this is not the optimum time to do it. It's currently 4:33 right now, so obviously people are starting to get off of work, but this is about not time for rush hour just yet. But once people start getting home, then we'll start hearing something else going on here. And then a lot of times what these ham radio repeaters will do is that the ham radio repeater operators, they will actually hold organized activities and whatnot over the ham radio waves.
You know what? I'm
during
going
the
to
night.
shut the window over here because Grandpa Joe is getting kind of cold.
My feet are kind of getting cold too, but
It's a cold day for April.
yeah.
April 8th, and it started off at 18 degrees in the morning.
It's like almost unbearable how bad it's gotten.
It's like we reverted back to December or something.
Yeah.
December is probably warmer than this. There we go.
Okay.
That's also what we can do, but I will actually post videos here on the Grandpa Joe Show channel of receivings that I get.
Okay. So, and going on to some of the other topics for today, as you notice, we opened with Dominic welcoming you in Korean. Well, in about 2 years, we're going to be heading to Korea. Dominic, Harmony, and whoever else we can convince to come. And we're Harmony, because she is Korean, she's going to try to teach us how to speak Korean.
And obviously, with my heritage, I am actually, in fact, 25% Korean.
Right.
So I get some of her genes from her. So
every 2 weeks, we're going to get 1 hour of Korean training.
starting in June.
So we'll see, Dominic, he can soak this stuff up like a sponge, but Grandpa Joe is kind of like a soggy rag.
And there is science behind that. There's multiple videos proving that based on the same research.
Proving that Grandpa Joe. Yeah, there's probably science behind that one.
Yeah.
So that's why we opened up with that, because we were learning how it's a little bit, it is kind of complicated, because we just say welcome to the Grandpa Joe Show, but I oshingo ga so hanyan hamneda, and that means it's a little bit more than just a welcome. It's
The same, thank you for coming, basically.
thank you for coming, and honoring you, more like welcoming you, like almost bowing type of thing is what it really kind of means.
Yeah, so
Okay.
like we can bow if we wanted to, and that's the
Yeah.
standard for Korean, especially if you see it on Korean television, especially during newscasts or something like that. And I think also other Asian countries too. I think Japan is also a second country that also does the bow as well when
Right.
doing this.
And then they have different words for different ways of saying things for elderly people. If you meet somebody that's an elder to you, they have different ways of saying hello. All these things. It's going to be interesting. I should already know how to speak Korean much better than I do. I just know a little bit of food and a couple things, but
I know a little bit more, but it's like more like yes, no, and hello.
you know.
In the same age group, like teenagers and stuff like that, like the same age group, and then elders. Because
And-
if you don't know Korean, you have to say words in a certain way to your elders, your same age group, or your younger people. But what I've heard from Harmony, which is by the way grandma in Korean, is that I'm not sure like that they won't like scold you and stuff for it in the public. They'll just correct you and say "아니." It's I'm trying to remember. Okay, I can't remember it right now, but I think it's "아니요."
I need help.
Yeah. And so basically they'll just say that it's like "아니." It's "아니요." Basically. So which thanks to the Korean people, because obviously South Korea's basically been modernized a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, or
South
not a
Korea
little
is-
bit, a lot.
It's a wonderful country to visit.
It's a
If you
very
wanna-
wonderful
Yeah,
country.
if you want to go and visit South Korea, I'd recommend it because there's so much to do there, and their standards of living there are very, very high. I'd compare it at least with the United States. It's very nice. Trying to think of anything else with this. The other thing would be, you turned it over to me, but I kind
Well,
of
it's because
stopped.
I'm focusing on you.
Well, thanks.
This is the thing I do.
Yep. Anyway, their standard of living is very high there. I was there back in what was it? 2010, and their highway system. I was figuring that they'd be driving around in all those little dinky cars, and no, you see the Hyundais that are here, the nice SUVs.
They
and-
pronounce Hyundai.
yeah, but if you see all those, that's what they're driving around there. They do have, like, in the middle of Seoul and stuff, you'll see some little tiny, like, cars that you see, like, in those Chinese movies. They look like little, almost like golf carts. You'll see those things driving around there. That's kind of cool.
And the weird thing is that I've seen it a little bit on Google Maps. So I've kind of spoiled myself a little bit. But they do drive on the right side of the road. They're basically kind of like the United States
Yeah, it's
brother.
all, they drive on the same side of the street and everything else.
Yeah, basically the United States brother. Basically the same side of the street. And if you pay attention close enough, they even have the same style of signs as the United States. Like they got the familiar green sign.
Yeah, and
stuff
they
like that.
have, it's all, there's English and Korean signs on the highways.
Yep. They basically
So it's
you'll have Korean on
very
the top and then
simple to
English on the bottom.
navigate.
I'll probably put an image down here.
Very simple to navigate. Now, one thing I'd never really checked into because I didn't have to do it was how simple it is to rent a car there. If you can just go ahead and rent a car with your U.S. license, I do not know that. I'd never checked into that. But I may. This next trip, we might want to rent a car. Why not? We'll drive around Korea and get lost.
What? So basically, also when we get popular enough, we'll be most likely live streaming this stuff. So, and obviously we'll be doing impromptu live streams as well. Like, I mean, we're going to El Paso sometime this summer to visit one of our relatives down there.
Yep.
So it'll be sometime this summer, and we'll be live streaming then. We'll be conducting a test live stream then, and we'll be probably doing like impromptu live streams, so you won't be seeing stuff like, you won't be seeing like the Grandpa Joe Show logo right there. You won't be seeing that and stuff like that. So, and obviously, when we do get popular enough, we'll like once we get like satisfactory requirements that we think we can go live streaming with, we will be doing we will be doing live streams as so. I'm trying to think here. Recollect my thoughts. So once we get popular enough, when we get like sufficient criteria, like satisfactory requirements for us to think that we can go live streaming with, we will be going live streaming. So if you don't mind, go on ahead. If you don't mind, go on ahead, subscribe, and like tell everybody that you know, like tell as many people as you can, trying to raise us up, because unfortunately what YouTube has done over the past few months, and we were kind of getting in the middle of that, which we kind of consider lucky that we got quite a few views from places all over the world.
Yep, that's kind of neat.
I would consider ourselves lucky that something has happened, because unfortunately YouTube has been taking a little bit of a downturn, and basically what other YouTubers are saying, screwing over smaller channels and favoring the big ones.
Well, you know,
But
what else?
we'll always work ourselves through this stuff and hopefully around it. And try
More
to get
on
up.
Korea stuff.
Oh yeah, Greece.
You know, our aunt Liz, her and her husband Rick, my brother-in-law Rick, they went on a hike on I think they call it the Santiago Trail, and it's about 150 miles. They walk on this path through the mountains and stuff. It's like a pilgrimage path. You kind of find yourself on the way. As a matter of fact, there's a movie with Martin Sheen. I think it's called The Way. Well, they went on this trip, and they're still on it right now. I guess they're taking a whole month out there. And they ran into some Korean people, and they were talking to them, and they were really excited because my sister Liz, well, Aunt Liz for Dominic here, she said, well, Harmony's father was a movie star. He's passed away now, but his name is Park Arm, and he did a lot of action movies. If you're one of the older, well, let's say more mature Korean people out there, you might know Park Arm. And I gotta look up some of those videos. I did a long time ago, but I didn't really know how to find them. But I think I'm gonna try to find some of those videos again, because it'd be kind of cool to see my father-in-law in these movies.
So technically, my cousins that are out there in Korea is basically cousin-in-laws. I don't know how the whole family stuff works. Okay,
They're your cousins,
cousins,
especially
cousins.
Korean people. Like if you run into an elderly person, you could call them Harmony or Emoji or.
It is pretty weird how that works. Like
Yeah.
you can literally call strangers your grandfather or your grandmother.
I like
Pretty
that.
quirky thing.
I like that because
It's a pretty quirky thing. I mean, it's
I do
you're
that now.
identifying them as a part of your family.
Yeah, I do that now, and just here in America, if I meet one of my friends' parents or grandparents, I'll also call them, mom or grandma or grandpa, because it shows really great respect, and they like it. Who wouldn't like to be called grandpa or mom?
When I was saying like weird, I'm not trying to like basically bash that whole thing. Like I think it's a pretty quirky thing, and I kind of like that sort of thing, because that means basically everybody knows each other in some sort of way. Like,
well,
basically like they accept them as one person. Like everybody accepts each other.
right,
Whoever
and
they are.
and that's what we're taught you know, if you want to really get into, if we can start drifting off into the Bible again or into our faith, but
also
we are all brothers and sisters. So
regardless of what. Let me think here. Let me try to check the settings here really quick because it's gonna. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Everything all right?
I thought we were set to a little bit right, so we were gonna get all like fuzzy and whatnot for a sec. I was kind of worried about that. So, but anyway, continue.
Oh well, the last thing I guess we really have to talk about would be St. Rose. We still haven't gotten permission to publicize our video on St. Rose that we did, but we're still working on that, and we're excited about it because it turned out very well. But there's a lot of good news going on at St. Rose. We've had some donations. I don't know if did we talk about this on Grandpa Joe's show?
I don't think we've actually ever. I mean, we talked about the whole St. Rose like video thing, but I don't think we've talked anything about this. So
right. So
let's start with background.
Background is St. Rose, kind of it's an inner city church it's been on the downturn for quite some time, and there's been a lot of talk about possibly closing it up. Well, Harvey and I came there, and not saying that we've helped that much or anything, but since we've been there, it's kind of sparked a little bit of more enthusiasm, I think, and then now people have actually been starting to donate. There's many factors but there's great interest in trying to rebuild this church. They've rebuilt the parish center now. This coming August, they're going to have a grand reopening of the parish center, and they're going to use it for retreats and all kinds of things. And we've had donations of free tile from a company and free carpeting, over like 4,000 square foot of carpeting, 4,000 square foot of this really wonderful tiling. Another group, because it's got like about a 6-car garage, and the garage, if you ever saw it rain, it's like it's just pouring through the roof. That's how bad it is. It's not just a little bit, it's coming through like crazy. And that whole roof they're going to replace all that, and it's going to be, that garage, it's really kind of not even utilized right now at all. It used to be for the priests. Well, they're going to fix it up real nice, and they're going to have it for storage places for all these refugees that are coming to the United States, and they're coming to Milwaukee. There's a big Hmong population that's starting to come, Vietnamese, all these people are coming, and they're seeing, Catholic people are willing to help them out, and what a wonderful thing that we're doing for them, and what a wonderful thing they're doing for us to see that we can share our faith with them. So that's exciting. And somebody donated, I don't know if I'm supposed to say how much money, but a real good chunk of money that we're going to be able to possibly redo the roof of St. Rose Church, because the roof is getting real bad and leaking, and if that isn't fixed, the church is going to collapse. So we have to get that all fixed up, and all these things are happening, and I've been noticing slowly but surely there's been more and more people coming to church there, and when they see other people with good faith, they the word starts to spread. So that's what we're hoping for there, and to rebuild this church, because we're where else do you need it but right in the middle of the inner city. It's an area where there's a real great need for it. You can the people in that area need to know God. So that's what's going on there, and we'll keep you updated. And we can't wait till we get that show about St. Rose, the Bell of St. Rose, it's called.
Now, this is also pending, but we will actually start a new series on here that will run through its completion, run through St. Rose's completion. But we will be naming this. It's called St. Rose: The Road to Recovery. So
That's what we're going to call it?
basically, we're going to do
Okay.
adventures of. We're going to do basically adventures of. Basically, take my GoPro with me and take basically videos of St. Rose as progress goes right along. Will be as progress is chugging along. We will hopefully we'll probably ask permission for this to happen. So it's not 100%. Not 100% confirmed whether this series will start. But the St. Rose video will probably be marking as the first video of the road of St. Rose: The Road to Recovery.
Yeah. And one thing I'll tell you,
I guess it's more of an introductory video, and it's an hour and 16 minutes long, 17 minutes long. So if you have enough time, we would recommend watching it thoroughly and all the way through, as we will also take a journey to the bell tower, and we'll also talk about the history of St. Rose, and stuff like that. But I guess it can serve as a introductory video, and we don't go too much into it. I guess Grandpa Joe Show, this one right here, could serve as an informational video.
yeah,
So-
but I'll tell you what, that's St. Rose it's pretty cool what's going on in there, and once you see that video, you'll like it. And we got more stuff that's kind of neat about St. Rose that we want to dig into, that we're gonna hopefully unravel some stuff that hasn't been seen in probably I don't know how many years. Some of the people don't even know about it, but other people are telling me there's things of adventure there. So we're gonna check into that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. So we'll get permission. We'll ask for permission to see if we can do that. But for right now, this is just an idea that's being tossed up into the air and is waiting for it to fall.
Yep.
Waiting for it to fall back to the Grandpa Joe Show, so we can start this series. Also, there's something else I was going to talk about too.
We've talked about
A lot. 48 minutes and 26 seconds into the recording. I was trying to think about something that I was going to talk about, but
We should have wrote it down.
should have wrote it down. But
Yeah.
we do actually have an itinerary, so
Yeah,
an
this is the-
itinerary for this
This is one of the first times we ever did an itinerary.
in a long time.
It kind of
For
did
the
help
first
me.
time in our YouTube career, but this is not the first time that we've set an itinerary throughout Grandpa Joe Show's 7-year history. Because if you don't know what's going on, if you don't know what the whole 7-year history and stuff is about, I recommend going back to Grandpa Joe Show 1 and I think 3, because where we touch base on that, and I think episode 3 is when we dig deep into our history. Well,
Did
Grandpa
we?
Joe Show number 8 could, I guess, well, no, what? Okay. You know what, let's talk about it right now. We're taking this like a live stream. We just say things impromptu. I'm not going to cut that out. But anyway, this is a whole 7-year history thing. So what's going on here is that we started the Grandpa Joe Show back on February 21st, 2011. I do not have the footage with me right now, but once we have time to, and we bring this up again, I'll show the footage.
You will.
Yeah, I'll
From
have
the-
to I'll have to
the
get
first-
it off. I'll have to get it off Hardy's computer though.
We have the first Grandpa Joel show on there.
Yeah, we have the first piece of footage of the Grandpa Joe show on Hardy's computer. I'll have to
Yeah.
go back and find it though.
They're kind of interesting.
Yeah, they're interesting. I can tell you that.
I'd like to see them. I haven't seen any of that for
7 years.
Yeah, I didn't really even know it was being saved much, but
It's still on there.
because we were just playing around.
And let me tell you what. It was filmed using the record feature on Windows Movie Maker. That's where the beginning started. And obviously you people all like hate Windows Movie Maker now. I mean, Movie Maker has been discontinued by Microsoft, but that's where our beginnings began. So, basically I took this as an idea, I think back at the end of January of that year, and I told Grandpa the following Saturday, you should do a Grandpa Joe show. So then we just brought out Harmony's computer and recorded.
How
the
did
first
we
Grandpa
ever
Joe show.
decide on having a Grandpa Joel show? What did it?
It's
what
just an
made-
idea I've had.
Yeah, the Grandpa Joel show. What made you think of Grandpa Joel show?
It was just a show where we would just talk about stuff, and this is basically what it is right now.
Yeah.
Except it's just in a more full-fledged form, to the point where the old Grandpa Joe show, the inaugural episode, is basically a shell of what it is today. It makes the first episode look like a shell of what it is today.
Yeah. And hopefully this will be a shell of what it is tomorrow.
And for later down the line, we'll probably make this sort of form of the Grandpa Joe show a shell of what it could be later down the line.
Yep.
But we won't. Okay, so recollecting my thoughts again. Basically, we need your guys' help to basically help boost that and make this form of the show, like this episode here, a shell of what it's going to be. But we won't. We
we'd like
can't
to
do it
have-
without your guys' help.
We'd like to have people just email and
At the Grandpa Joe
ask
show.
a question.
Yeah, Grandpa Joe
And
show
we'll
at
answer.
gmail.com.
Ask something,
It's in the description.
whatever you want. We'll
It's-
figure it out.
It's in the description, guys, and if it's not, I'm sorry. So, I think it should be in the description, but well, it will be in this episode. So, Grandpa Joe show at gmail.com. By the way, it's gonna be also at the bottom left of every video. There, like right there. So, basically, if you want to subscribe and also hit the bell icon for the bell icon right next to the subscribe button to enable notifications on your web browser whenever we upload a video.
Okay.
And we are starting to take Skype what we call quote unquote Skype appointments, where basically you can be with us for an entire episode and talk about stuff with us and basically become a co-host basically. And if you want to bring a group of friends on as well, go on ahead. They can talk with us too.
Now,
More the
if
merrier.
if we Skype, not they, well, that's us. Can you do it like on the news shows where they have you sitting right there and then
Yep.
me sitting over here and
We can
then
do that.
somebody can just jump right in between us right there?
Yep, we can do that. We can have us on over there. That's what the dual window is also meant for. There, if you don't know what we're talking about, we actually did a series. We brought in live shots onto the Grandpa Joe show,
Which we will be doing more of
It's
soon.
Yes, soon. It's just the weather's not right out right now
I don't
for
want
it.
to mess around outside too much.
Yeah, but obviously stuff like the 4th of July fireworks and vacations, basically anything in between like that. And then whenever we do like hands-on projects and stuff, that like we can just do whatever we want. Basically, the series where we start on that, I think it goes from episode 3 all the way to episode 7. Episode 6. I think. I don't know. I'm losing track of the episodes and whatnot. But you can look back in our playlist of videos. And I think it starts at episode 3, I think, and it ends at episode 7. I think this might be episode 9 right here. But whatever. So it's a series.
How did it get to be episode 9? Did we have that many?
Yeah. We've been doing this since November, and if we take that, divide by 2, and then skip a couple of episodes, we're at episode 9 right now.
Wow.
But anyway, that is what's going on there, and we'll be doing more projects in the future, and we'll basically, we're gonna make the brain farting all over the place today. So basically, what I'm saying is that we'll make this episode a shell of its former self in the future.
Yep.
And obviously, when we go to South Korea, we'll be doing live streams and whatnot. So stay tuned for that for a couple of years, and tell everybody as well in the meantime, before then, to jump on in.
Okay. I think, is that going to be a wrap?
I think that's about a wrap. So basically, this has been the Grandpa Joe Show for Saturday, April 8th, which the recording date, obviously. As always, I am Dominic Brosh.
And I'm Grandpa Joel.
We will see you all later. Good night, and God bless. Coming up on the Grandpa Joe Show. Oh yeah, by the way, Grandpa Joe Show에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
오신 것을 환영합니다. In other words, why did you just get off the screen?
Grandpa Joe Show에 오신 것을 환영.
Do it again.
Grandpa Joe Show에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
In other words, welcome to the Grandpa Joe Show.
Coming up on the Grandpa Joe Show, we will be discussing.
yeah, we'll be. I hope we won't be disgusting.
Oh God. I think the Korean language screwed me up. Oh gosh.
Well,
Hey, let's start that over. Grandpa Joshua 오신 것을 I forgot. Grandpa Joshua에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
in other words, welcome to the Grandpa Joe Show.
Coming up on the Grandpa Joe Show.
You were doing just fine that time.
Ah, man. Okay. Coming up on the Grandpa Joe Show.
So I think we gotta do it one more time because you gotta get rid of the giggles.
Coming up on the Grandpa Joe Show, we will be discussing. I almost said disgusting again. Coming up on the Grandpa Joe Show, we will be discussing. What do you?